All right, fellas, thanks very much, and we welcome you to the Frank Irwin Center here in Austin, Texas tonight. It is Texas taking on UConn, and we begin on the Longhorn side immediately with news as they are without their big man Cam Ridley. Lost him on Sunday in practice, non-contact injury. He had surgery today on his fractured foot. For more on the injury, here's Fran Fraschilla, who caught up with the head coach Shaka Smart moments ago.
Coach, with this news about Cam Ridley, how will this change your team?
Well, Cam's obviously a huge part of everything we were doing, and he was playing so well. But, you know, we have a team with some guys that can step up. We've got some veteran guys in the front court that I think are obviously going to have to play more minutes for us, and I believe they're ready.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So without one of their top players and rebounders, they got their hands full, and they got their hands full with UConn's Daniel Hamilton.
Great lineage. 4 Hamilton brothers all played college basketball. His older brother Jordan played right here for the Texas Longhorns. One of the more versatile players in college basketball, only a sophomore.
Coming off a triple-double against Central Connecticut, he could do a little bit of everything. Meanwhile, Isaiah Taylor coming off 26 points. And the winning shot with 1.1 seconds in a victory over Stanford. In fact, basically, Texas has won at the buzzer 2 of their last 3 games. And underway as Prince eBay starts in place of Cam Ridley. Texas basketball underway in Austin.
And UConn comes out in a little 2-3 zone, a little surprise. They've only played, I measured about 10 possessions all season, John.
Lambert being harassed. We'll see if the defense is bothersome at all. Feed inside. eBay couldn't finish. And immediately it's Gibbs up ahead. Now Purvis. Facey lost the handle. And now Texas back the other way.
Isaiah Taylor coming off a monster game out at Stanford as homecoming. 26 points, 6 assists.
A lot of friends and family out there.
Well, this is a surprise because UConn has played very little zone all season long.
Davis from deep. Yeah, the freshman missed everything. Kevin Ollie, his 4th year as head coach. UConn, of course, won the national title in 2014. Played at UConn from 91 to 95, and parts of seasons in the NBA from 97 to 2010.
Both of these coaches, Shaka Smart and Kevin Ollie, very firm, tough disciplinarians, but great relationships with their players.
Well, they get an offensive foul. That'll be on Sean Miller, his first. Meanwhile, Shaka Smart, first year as a head coach at Texas. All that success at VCU. NCAA tournament 5 times in 6 years, including that Final Four run in 2011. I mentioned Miller picking up a foul. This is Gibbs who wanders inside. And the feed, the give off, and Facey +1. How about that?
And that was a terrific play by Shelton Gibbs. Did I say? Yeah, Sterling Gibbs. I keep doing that. Shelton, outstanding player at Pittsburgh. But what you like about this is UConn's guards normally come off pick and roll and look for their own. And that time Gibbs got into the paint, drew a defender, and dropped it off, John. They're only scoring about 0.7 points of possession in pick and roll this year, which is low. You know, you want to be about 1, anything over 1.0 is good, a point of possession.
And of course, no Boatwright, and from the year before Napier, there's the feed inside as eBay in close flushes it.
Texas with a little bit of pressure of their own. And we talked to Shaka Smart today about no Cam Ridley. Will you play smaller and quicker and maybe see a little bit more of that full court pressure that we were used to at VCU? And I think it's a work in progress. He really wouldn't give us a definitive answer when we talked about it.
That's from deep as Hamilton is able to hit. Daniel Hamilton, the sophomore, shooting just 33% from 3, but he is versatile. And that's off Lambert. out of bounds. First turnover against Texas.
I talked to Kevin Ollie about this today, John. Sometimes a guy this unselfish can actually hurt your team because he can get his own shot and he can shoot the 3-ball, but he tends at times to get his teammates involved, which is a good thing, but sometimes they need him to be more aggressive in his offense.
Purvis a 3 off the mark. It'll go the other way. Rodney Purvis, the former North Carolina State transfer. It's amazing how we see transfers impacting the game seemingly for every team.
Oh, there's no question. It's just amazing how it's part of college basketball right now. Rodney Purvis was on the team that won the national title. That was his sit-out year. And he's really matured, I think, since his freshman year at NC State.
And there is Purvis with the takeaway. And the layup for 2. Rodney Purvis.
Really good start for UConn on the road. These teams are so similar, John, in that, neither one is ranked, but they're both about top 40 level. This is like an 8-9 game in the NCAA tournament right here.
Inside, Taylor weaves his way in and is able to put it home with the left hand. Well, we mentioned transfers between Gibbs, Miller, and Purvis. 3 transfers starting for UConn. Miller from Cornell and Gibbs from Seton Hall and from Texas. Feed inside. I think they may have gotten Felix for holding Facey.
Well, who says UConn doesn't use the one-and-dones? Because their one-and-dones is just a little bit different than Kentucky and Duke. They've got the 5th-year guys, much the way we've seen Fred Hoiberg do that at Iowa State. But Sean Miller, terrific player at Cornell, and obviously Gibbs, who started his career here at Texas, also has been good for Kevin Ollie.
Purvis gets the handoff. Miller kicks to the corner. Out of bounds, and it'll be Texas basketball. Another timeout on the court. Fram, Rodney Purvis able to take the defense, turn it into offense, and 2.
Starting to mature for Kevin Ollie. He's an offensive juggernaut.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball, and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Back here in Austin, and from the Frank Irwin Event Center, John Shambi and Fran Fraschilla. 8-4 is our score. UConn off to the start. We already documented Cam Ridley is out for Texas. Meanwhile, on the UConn side, Amita Brima is gone for UConn, and that's a problem because he protects the rim.
Well, he really does. In fact, both teams, 2 of the best shot blocking teams in the country. Connecticut #1 in part because of Brima, and Texas #5. Both of these teams have always blocked a lot of shots, and these 2 young men, the focal point of their respective teams' defenses, they will be missed. The numbers speak for themselves when you look at that graph.
See Brima, it's the right finger, the ring finger, and he's out 6 to 8 weeks following surgery. Ridley had the surgery today. They're hopeful that he can come back, but they don't know it.
Right now, Connecticut back to man-to-man, and Daniel Hamilton is playing the 4 spot. And he's very comfortable there, John, because he's an excellent defensive rebounder.
Now, there's Taylor getting inside again. That's the 2nd time he's been able to do that.
And I thought Taylor played his best all-around game of his career at Stanford right before Christmas. We talked about the 26 points, 6 assists, but he utilized his speed so well, stayed in control, and was really hard to guard for the Cardinals.
Elbow pull-up off the mark, and the rebound pulled down by Kerwin Roach Jr., and he's got the ball. He can really jump. It'll be interesting to watch Texas tonight. So used to trying to get Ridley touches down low, and now he's not there. Lammert, he can hit that. The is the freshman. Jalen Adams is checked in. Spins it home. Nicely done.
This kid, we've watched this kid a lot early in the year. Tremendous talent. Like Taylor, learning how to utilize his speed, but watch him change speeds, change direction, under control, and then the English. We call that PhD, proper hand development, when you use that window. Young man that comes from Roxbury, Mass., a section that's produced a lot of good talent through the years, and you like this kid's potential.
Yeah, including a former Husky, Shabazz Napier.
Yep. Wayne Selden as well, now starring at Kansas.
Roach to kick out, and that's Tevin Mack who hits.
Now you see what Shaka Smart's done to counteract the small lineup. They've gone with the freshman Mack at the 4. And John, he's been in a shooting slump, but he can really stretch the floor, which will open up that guard dribble game.
Purvis the pull-up. Facey rebounds. That's exactly what Kevin Ollie's looking for in a Kenton Facey. Rebound and energy.
What did he tell us today? Facey came to UConn, wanted to be a 3-man. He said, no, you need to be an energy guy, a garbage man. Good example right there.
Hamilton going to work. Purvis a good look.
Didn't go, but you love the ball movement.
One of the things with Texas, when they do go small, it usually means 3 freshmen on the court. And that's what they have right now. Shaq Claire, good look inside, and he finds one of those freshmen. And that's Kerwin Roach.
Sometimes you double team a guy who's a great scorer. Oftentimes you double team a guy you feel comfortable making him pass it. But Shaq Claire made UConn pay for the double team right there. Excellent.
To the ball fake, weaves inside, wouldn't go off the glass, and Mack pulls it down. And a foul on the floor.
Good basketball play right here by the transfer from Maryland. Watch him look middle, sees the double. Now he's got to find somebody because somebody will be open. And what you got to do if you're UConn, when you double the post, you must always protect the basket. Good recognition right there by the young man from the Bahamas. Buddy Hield's not the only guy from the Bahamas that can play.
4 dunks and or layups for Texas. Make it 5. And the first lead for the Longhorns.
They have taken more advantage of the small ball game in the last few minutes than UConn has.
A 7-0 run. Mack again for 3. Texas with a 16-10 lead. John Shelby and Fran Frischel. Some 3-point shooting has gotten Texas the lead as Tevin Mack's been down it from long distance.
He's the least heralded of the 3 outstanding freshmen for Shaka Smart. We've seen heroics from Roach Jr. and Davis Jr. during the year. But this young man, Tevin Mack, arrived in Austin with a reputation of knocking down the long ball. Only 24% coming in. But tonight, 2 big threes. He signed at VCU. He's from Columbia, South Carolina. And boy, if they get all 3 freshmen going, this is a really good nucleus for Shaka Smart to build on, not to mention an outstanding recruiting class coming in next year.
Mack could go 6'6", 210. All 3 freshmen, top 50 players. He was number 48 in the ESPN 100. Well, there's that pressure from Texas. Both sides in shoot-around today working on outletting against pressure,
yes.
wary that the other side would bring it.
And we've seen Texas really bring it maybe a little bit more than we're used to. I talked to Shaka Smart back in October, and I got the feeling he wasn't sure how much full court pressure he wanted to play with this team. And of course, he told us that one of the misconceptions at VCU was that they were a great pressing team. He said, no, we had the best defensive player in the country in Briante Weber. He was a one-man wrecking crew with that press.
This is Miller. And then Adams with that floater. Rebound Miller and the putback. Sean Miller, the transfer from Cornell, averaged 16.8 points and 8.5 rebounds last year.
He's one of those one-and-done guys we talked about. Everybody in the country knew he had one more year to play because you cannot redshirt in the Ivy League. Look at Mack. He's feeling it.
Claire, big rebound.
Miller played 3 seasons for Bill Courtney for the Big Red at Cornell. And everybody knew that when he graduated that he would have one more year, and basically the whole country recruited him. Kevin Ollie made some inroads with his mom, very involved in his life, and he's turned out to be a very good player.
And again, you're talking about the eligibility rules in the Ivy Leagues that are different from every other league. So he's not able to compete for a 5th year. So it is different than the way you see a grad student transfer and go to a school in order to pursue a program that they have at that school, etc. It's a subtle difference.
It is. And in the Ivy League, if you want to graduate with your class and play 4 years, you must withdraw from school for a year. And that's what Siani Chambers at Harvard is doing this year as he recovers from an ACL. Alex Rosenberg at Columbia broke a foot, I believe, last fall. He withdrew from school in order to be able to play his final year at Columbia. So it's a little different in the Ivy League. But Kevin Ollie is not complaining.
And I'm not naive. I know a lot of these kids that are leaving and that are immediately eligible in 5th year and not necessarily going because of the program. They're going to better their situation, whether it's to win or to improve their draft status. Do you like where the college game is right now as it relates to so many transfers?
It's a way of life, John. You know, it's a free country. You pick a school, you don't like it, you don't like the coach, you don't like your teammates, you're not playing. Do I like it as a coach, former coach? No, but is it a reality? Yes, it is. And even with the 50-year guys, you know, a kid wants to go play at a higher level, go for it.
Well, there's one of them, Sterling Gibbs, who started right here in Austin as a freshman, then on to Seton Hall, and now at UConn. Of course, his brother Ashton at Pitt.
And little brother's coming up as well.
Notre Dame, yeah.
Yeah, going Notre Dame.
Well, good work inside. There's the freshman, Jalen Adams.
If you know Roxbury, Mass, a section of Boston, you know this kid's going to be a junkyard dog.
They're tied at 17. 9:40 to go. UConn on a 7-1 run.
These two teams, John, are heading into conference play, starting to find themselves. Both teams struggled early. Nice drive.
Taylor gets inside, +1. Isaiah Taylor has been doing the job in close.
What you like about this kid is he's got incredible end-to-end speed, but in his first 2 years, he was really out of control. And lately, we're watching him mature under Shaka Smart and utilizing his speed really, really well.
Taylor averaging 14.7 points per game at his tops on the team. He's got 7 here tonight.
He had about 50 family members at that Stanford game because, as you know, he grew up in Hayward, California, about 25 miles from the farm. And under that pressure, I thought he really played some of his best basketball.
Miller with that quickness advantage against Lambert, but the shot blocked. And then Miller there for the putback and the foul. Stick-to-itiveness from Sean Miller.
And if anything, like Hamilton, Kevin Ollie wants him to be more aggressive. He actually passed up a jump shot in order to get close to their lane. But he's got great bounce, and there you see the finish. This young man, we mentioned Cornell. He's from a great high school in Cleveland. Cleveland St. Ignatius, which has put out so many good college basketball and football players. Remember Delvon Rowe? Played at Michigan State.
Absolutely.
He's from Euclid, Ohio, and Delvon and his dad have been really good basketball mentors to this young man. Played for Sean O'Toole at St. Ignatius.
Actually got a chance to do a high school game between Delvon Rowe and Drew Holiday.
I remember that. Campbell Hall, right?
Yeah. Davis misses everything. And a rebound pulled down by Gibbs as Miller went tumbling to the deck. Good active hands there by Davis. Gibbs. And Lambert the board. Davis at the bucket. And he'll get to the line. No more college basketball coming your way. Our first big Monday of the season at 7. North Carolina squaring off against Florida State. Knowles just came up with a big win. And then we had the Allen Fieldhouse, a journey to the tourney matchup. Oklahoma and Kansas. Both those games streaming live on Watch ESPN.
Best league in the country this year, John, the Big 12. Big East can lay some claim to the top spot as well, but what makes the Big 12 so good is there's only 10 teams in it. Unlike the SEC, Big 10, ACC, and right now you're looking at least 6 out of the 10 competing for NCAA bids. And by the way, Tubby Smith is doing a heck of a job at Texas Tech. A win over Richmond today. They go into conference play with only 1 loss. This is a juggernaut of a league, and everybody plays home and home.
And we're going to get a look on Saturday. Pretty good start to our season in the Big 12 as we'll get a look at Iowa State and Oklahoma in Norman.
2 of the National Player of the Year candidates matching up right away. You see the violation by Philip Nolan. Philip Nolan started on that NCAA championship team a couple of years ago. But the road to the Big 12 championship goes through Lawrence, by the way.
11 straight regular season titles for Bill Self.
See, I'd like to see this guy aggressively pursue his own shot.
And they're going to carry. It's a turnover. 4th turnover on UConn.
Those 3 freshmen are logging a lot of minutes for Shaka Smart. UConn, this is the most zone they've played all season.
Mack launches and hits another. How about Tevin Mack knocking it down? He's got 10, including 3 threes.
Kevin Ollie's looking at his coaches saying, you told me this guy was a 24% three-point shooter. But if you remember in high school, that's where he made his mark.
Hamilton inside, that's what you want.
This is what you got to do, Daniel Hamilton. You can't just feed your teammates. You have to create shots for yourself. And I used to tell my guys, you're hurting us if you don't look for your own shot.
Davis going to work on Hamilton, who rejects it. Man, he is long. Daniel Hamilton does a little bit of everything. The block there. It's Texas right now by 2.
Doug Kazarian, Seth Greenberg with a studio update. Big Ten play underway in Iowa City, and the Hawkeyes looking good, Coach.
Nicholas Baer knocks down this 3. The 6'7" freshman shooting 50 from the 3. He gives the Hawkeyes instant offense off the bench.
Iowa up 10 over an undefeated Michigan State, but obviously Sparty playing shorthanded without the injured Denzel Valentine. Elsewhere, second-ranked team Kansas struggling a little bit with UC Irvine. Let's go back to John and Fran.
All right, fellas, so look forward to checking in with you at the half. Our game, Texas leading by 2.
Kansas may be struggling with Mamadou Ndiaye, the 7'6" center that plays for Russell Turner and the Anteaters.
back in the day, Scooter Brooks, Bob Thornton from UC Irvine.
Yeah, you know, Scotty Brooks. Scotty Brooks, who transferred from TCU.
Out of bounds. And it'll be a UConn basketball.
John, the second half, this game stays close, which I think it will. Second half of this game is going to be terrific because both of these teams need another non-conference resume win going into conference play. Speaking of UConn, SMU throttled Tulsa today on the road. And my man Nick Moore, one of the most underrated point guards in the country, dropped in 23.
There's Purvis knocking one down. He's got 5.
Nice hedge by Hamilton. Let's see if Davis can take him. Nope.
Yeah, Davis is real quick. Lambert sets the screen. And now they give back to Lambert, who puts it on the floor.
It's going.
And one. Around the world and in.
I thought he should have shot that 3, but a good little head fake. Going right, shooting it left-handed. That was a 6-inch shot fake. Perfectly done. He actually looked like, John, he was going to shoot it. You know, so many times guys fake the 3 and the ball goes everywhere, but that was a 6-inch shot fake, enough to get the defender off balance.
Lambert will grab a seat. Of course, with Ridley out, a lot of the rebounding responsibility will fall on his shoulders. He's their second leading rebounder. Adams beats the pressure, feeds Facey, kick out Purvis. But Adams stepped on the sideline. Texas basketball. So Taylor handling here. He's got Claire setting a screen for him. And now Mack, who's gotten off to a good start in this one. A little short with that shot. Kevin Mack, though, leading all scorers with 10 points. In fact, just his second double-figure game of his young career.
And to your point, they just ran a set play to get him that open look. It was a little roll and replace. Big man rolls. Mack replaced him, came up with that 17-footer. So that's a confidence builder when your coach starts to run some action to you.
Now, one of the guys that shoots it well, Javon Felix, he has not gotten a chance to shoot it yet. Mack launches. And the rebound ends up with Purvis. And Purvis loses it out of bounds. Well, the New Year's 6, 2 of the greatest days for college football fans. It all starts noon Eastern and New Year's Eve on ESPN. 4 and 8, the playoffs, the semifinal games. You get Oklahoma, Clemson, Michigan State, and Alabama, and then New Year's Day, 3 more great games.
No basketball for me New Year's Eve, John. I'm going to be watching those games on my sofa. That Oklahoma-Clemson game. You know what I love about that game? Brent Venables, former assistant coach to Bob Stoops. Both of them played for Bill Snyder at Kansas State. Clemson thrashed Oklahoma in the Russell Athletic Bowl last year. Different season. Lincoln Riley, the great offensive coordinator for Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Wright. I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Kevin Mack will grab a seat. Purvis on the baseline. And Rodney Purvis drawing the contact. Foul on Lambert, his first.
Yeah, this is a guy, Rodney Purvis, a McDonald's All-American, was on a very good NC State team with T.J. Warren, some other guys. Averaged 8 points a game, didn't feel like he fit in. I thought he was out of control a lot of times last year, early. Finished the season really strong. And in talking to Kevin Ollie today, you love the way he's starting to mature and almost take on a leadership mantle on this Husky team.
Yeah, a little more vocal. In terms of his recruitment for Rodney Purvis, it came down to NC State and UConn. He chose NC State, so when it was time to say, I may not stay here, the first place he called was UConn. Purvis picks up a foul, his first. He'll grab a seat. UConn down 2.
Yeah, you look at these two benches, both Kevin Ollie and Shaka Smart, and you say to yourself, if you're a young man who's a very good player and you want a great role model, your family wants a guy that's going to have a coach stay on top of you both academically and basketball-wise. These two guys are rising stars. Of course, Kevin Ollie already with an NCAA national championship under his belt. Both teams in the midst of very good recruiting years.
So a 4-point Texas lead. Felix with his first 2 points. He doesn't have a field goal attempt. There's Hamilton now going to work on Lammert. Adams swings to Gibbs. And one. He's got a chance at a 4-point play. Sterling Gibbs. And Fran, that's the #1 thing that they look for him to do, is knock down that 3.
Absolutely, and it started with great penetration, and then Jalen Adams puts it right on Sterling Gibbs's mitts. Look at that. That's such an underrated part of good offense, is pass to the player's shooting pocket. And this young man, who, as we mentioned, played very limited minutes as a freshman here for Rick Barnes, transferred back to Seton Hall and taking advantage of that 5th year.
Said back to Seton Hall. He's from New Jersey.
Yep.
Scotch Plains, went to Seton Hall Prep.
Yes, he did. One of the great basketball programs in the last quarter century in northern New Jersey. Home of Brevin Knight, Brandon Knight, the Gibbses.
Here in Austin, we close in on the 4-minute mark in a 1-point game. Yancey gives out. And speeding inside of his Roach, couldn't hit. Lammert is fouled. They get the foul on Adams. That is his second.
You know, John, watching Connor Lammert, and we talked about Isaiah Taylor, we spent a lot of time watching Texas basketball the last few years. And you know, I worked for Rick Barnes at Providence College. He took 16 Texas teams to the NCAA tournament in 17 years, but things were getting stale. They really were. And you know, Texas had a lot of guys who came to the 40 acres, left early, turned pro early. Rick Barnes didn't think Corey Joseph would leave early. Tristan Thompson. And the change has been great for everybody. Rick Barnes now trying to rebuild a team at Tennessee. Shaka Smart, a breath of fresh air, and the kids are really responding to him. It's one of those coaching moves that's worked out well for everybody.
Hamilton inside feeding Facey. Hamilton a fire at 3. Look at that rebound. Yep. And then Facey had it ripped away. Felix spinning and can't hit. Fight for the loose ball. They'll go possession arrow, and it belongs to UConn, but really good hustle by both Felix and Yancey there. Texas at home, and the Longhorns lead by 3.
Doug Kazarian in the ESPN studios. Coming up with the Land Rover halftime report. Both the #1 and #2 ranked teams in the country in action right now, but both being tested. We'll have highlights with Seth Greenberg's analysis. Also, Ben Simmons, another nice stat line, 21 and 12. But LSU already its 5th loss. See you at the break, fellas.
All right, Doug, thanks. And Texas by 3. And there's a former Texas great LaMarcus Aldridge, of course, playing For the San Antonio Spurs, Tom Kite.
Yeah, I was going to say.
There. Are they talking basketball or golf?
I don't know, but that's two former Texas greats right there. But LaMarcus playing for the San Antonio Spurs right now. You see this game tonight, John. Both of these teams have put a bunch of guys in the NBA. Of course, Jim Calhoun with great success at UConn. Now Kevin Ollie, and then Rick Barnes with that great run going back to TJ Ford and Durant and Aldridge, Augustine.
Just about a first-round pick a year for each of these programs. It's scary how much they mirror one another. 10 years, 12 overall picks, 9 first-round picks. Yeah, that is Omar Calhoun getting inside for the bucket.
You see how much Hamilton handles the ball, even though right now he's playing the 4 spot. That's good.
Great look.
That's why he's handling the ball. They will allow him to rip and run off the defensive boards, but they put it in his hands a lot.
Facey's got 5. And again, as we mentioned, Hamilton coming off a triple-double his last game. That air ball ended up in his hands. He's their best rebounder. He's just one of those guys that has the knack in terms of rebounding. Purvis. Put back right there, Tevin Mack. He's got a dozen.
Right on the spot. Did you see Lammert didn't even hesitate on that 3, playing with more confidence?
Gibbs from way deep. And Facey another rebound. Hamilton almost overshot Gibbs that time. 1-point game. It's been a good one so far. Under 90 seconds. Gibbs stepping through. Couldn't finish. And they're going to get an offensive foul. Another reminder after tonight's Advocare V100 Texas Bowl. That's on ESPN. You stick around at SportsCenter from Los Angeles. So after LSU and Texas Tech, Stan and Neil will have all the highlights. Bowl games, NBA, NHL, college hoops.
Is that Stan Verrett? Did I see Stan Verrett? Is he a St. Aug's grad? Same school that produced Javon Felix down in New Orleans? I'm getting on SportsCenter tonight, buddy. As I mentioned, Stan. Great high school. Some of the best players to ever come out of Louisiana. You know who's from St. Aug's? Tyrann Mathieu, the great defensive back for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I asked Javon Felix today, I said, come on, tell me the truth. Who's the better athlete? Tyrann Mathieu or Kerwin Roach Jr.? He said, Coach, that's close, but Tyrann played 4 sports. The Honey Badger played 4 sports at St. Aug's. Guess what? The bowling coach wanted him to come out and bowl, and you know what? He almost did it.
When is bowling season? Isn't it always bowling season?
It's always bowling season. When it's beer season.
Yes. Always time to go kegling. Taylor pulls it back out. Another 40 seconds to go. Texas by a point. Taylor through traffic. This time couldn't complete it. Toss up ahead. Here's Purvis. And that'll go.
Rodney
UConn
Purvis
with the lead.
Yeah, he sprinted up that sideline, John. He deserved to get the ball the way he sprinted out of that possession.
Purvis with 7. Time out of the court. 17.5 to go first half. And Texas will have the last shot. UConn by a point. John Chomby, Fran Fraschilla with you. And Rodney Purvis aggressively getting out on the break for that bucket.
Oh, he got shot out of a cannon right here. Watch him get up the floor quickly. Then he knows exactly what to do with it. Really starting to come into his own as a junior under Kevin Ollie. That American Conference, no joke this year. You know, you look at SMU ranked in the top 20 right now. Cincinnati got beat today at home by
Temple.
It's a solid Temple team. Yeah, that was an upset.
Let's see where they go. Max had a good first half.
That's got to be
Absorbs
something.
a contact. It's an offensive foul.
I couldn't tell. Once the defender's got his 2 feet on the floor in front of the driver, he's allowed to move sideways or backwards. Let's watch. That's a good call. You know, the average fan will say, no, the guy was moving. But once you've established you're defending, you're allowed to move sideways and backwards, and that was a good call. If you play that play in the YMCA, everybody's calling that a block.
No doubt. And that'll do it. UConn by a point at the break as they lead it 34-33. Now we send it back to Doug Kazarian and Seth Greenberg. The Land Rover halftime report.
I don't like it. No, I love it. I don't like it. No, I love it.
Back here in Austin at the break, UConn leading Texas 34-33. John Chomby and Fran Fraschilla here from Texas as Kevin Mack had himself a huge first half, and say you're not anticipating that freshman's going to be the guy, but he had been slumping in terms of shooting the ball. Not here tonight. A really good first half.
And he's gotten the opportunity because Shaka Smart has gone with the small lineup, playing him a lot at power forward. Now this guy comes to Texas with a great shooter's reputation, but as you mentioned, John, only 24% on the season coming in. No lack of confidence in the first half, really feeling it and giving Shaka Smart a big lift without Cameron Ridley in that lineup.
Yeah, so remember Cam Ridley out with a broken foot, and Mack leading all scorers in the first half with a dozen. Texas won 6 straight. Both these teams 8-3. And Longhorns basketball to start the second half. Taylor to pull up and a little short. And there's Miller with the rebound.
And both teams now, without their inside presence, have become way more guard-oriented. Of course, Brima not really a scorer. Ridley more of that. We saw a lot of good guard play in the first half.
Put that one up. I don't know whether he was thinking face he was going to grab it. One of the things Kevin Ollie talked about is without Brima, that initially the defense was a little suspect because almost like they forgot, no, he's not back there to bail you out.
Oh, exactly. And in fact, in the first game they played against UMass Lowell last Sunday, they were not very good defensively.
Felix, little ball fake floater. That'll go. Javon Felix.
He's got that down. That's one of those shots. If you're 5'11", you got to have that in your repertoire. The floater, that in-between shot before you get to that last line of defense. Well done.
Our 7th lead change. Felix, who of course was the hero with the winner at the buzzer here in Austin against North Carolina.
Is it me, John, or is it quiet in here?
Right now.
You know, Texas with a 1-point lead, but it is quiet.
Miller steps out and hits. Sean Miller, the senior transfer. It's eBay inside. Follow wouldn't go, but he's fouled.
Good effort by the young man from Garland, Texas. Senior now. It's gone fast for him. Excellent shot blocker. Top 10 all time on the 40 acres. Never really developed quite that offensive game.
One of the things that Shaka Smart told us, between Shaq Claire and Prince eBay, he's hoping for 30 or more minutes combined. Now, they combined the first half for 14, so kind of on pace for that in that neighborhood. eBay missing everything on that first free throw.
And that barely hit iron. I think we've got a violation, so he's going to have to shoot a third shot. So I would always tell my guys, miss it long. You know, never up, never in. If you don't get it at least to the rim, it's got no chance to go in. There you go. Like
and
that?
they love it.
Remember that now. Never up, never in.
Get the foul on Lambert, his second. So it's UConn by a point as we get it going here the second half. Calhoun, little hesitation. And that is shot rejected, but the put back there for Kent Facey.
How many times do you see the shot blocker come over, but the defense doesn't seal down the backside, and Facey comes up with just a little bit of garbage?
Facey's got 7. The shot contested. UConn the other way. Hamilton trying to connect with Miller. Couldn't do it. Turnover. And now Taylor gets fouled.
Really nice look by Felix. He saw Taylor on the run, got it to him. It almost got all the way to the rim. You see he puts it right on his hands, and then the trip.
Gibbs on the foul, his first.
You know, John, I have to tell you, if I am Texas, if I am Shaka Smart, everybody talks about this being a great job. And we know North Carolina came in here and this place was rocking. But in order for this to be the level of basketball job it could be, it needs more fan support. This is a, you know, right now, this is a library. This is like the UT library right now. And what you see at Iowa State and Kansas is the crowd uplifting the team.
Adams had it poked away, and they'll go possession arrow. It'll stay with UConn. Yeah, there's no doubt they're going to be looking for more energy from their fans, and in the Big 12, you know, even a place like Manhattan.
Oh man,
you know, K-State. That is a tough place to go into, the Octagon of Doom.
Absolutely. And this place can be a tough place to play when Kansas comes in here, or maybe Oklahoma this year, maybe Iowa State. But if you're, you know, these kids want to thrive off the energy of the building.
Oh, Sean Miller.
That's the kind of aggressiveness that Kevin Ollie wants from this young man.
10 points for the transfer as he flushed the miss from Adams. Wow.
Now this is that athleticism we talked about. Former all-Ivy League player comes up with that finish. Nice soft floater by Jalen Adams. That lets that ball kiss up on the rim and allows Miller to time it.
Lambert spins and hits. And Shaka Smart calling the timeout. Texas down by 3. Back here in Austin, Texas down by 3, right in the middle there. Number 2, DeMarcus Holland. He's played 3 minutes so far in this game. He's been away from the team basically since they went to break. He has not been practicing with the team. Now, his grandmother has been ill, so he's been back in Tyler, Texas at her side, and he wanted us to let her know that he is thinking of her and wanted to, I mean, more than anything, just say he's supporting her even though he's here right now.
Exactly.
But he's been away from the team, and a guy that normally starts, in fact, started every game last year. It started every game this year, but he hadn't been able to practice because he's been away to to be with his dad's mom.
And if you watch Holland play, he's one of the best defensive guards in this league. And speaking of defense, Prince eBay, his high school teammate, picking up the slack on the defensive end.
Using the screen, left the floater short, got it back, it hits!
Second chance opportunities for Texas have been a gigantic factor in this game.
Page to the baseline, whips it underneath, and Johnson ties the game. Taylor, no! Felix, yes! Texas has defeated North Carolina.
Huge win for Shaka Smart, beating the #3 team, Javon Felix, with the 25 points in that game against UNC, and the game winner tonight. Just 4 for Felix. Hasn't really gotten involved in their offense, but that was a nice win for Texas.
And you saw the crowd, how electric it was with the #1 team in the country coming in here, and tonight not so much. And you know, if you're a 20-year-old college player, you do want people cheering for you and picking you up. And you know, John, that's why we say in Hilton Coliseum, the team is never out of it until the final buzzer goes off, because the crowd has an emotional investment in the comeback.
And last turnover, #9 on UConn. Meanwhile, this end of the court for Texas, Longhorns 3 for their last 15, make it 3 for 16. Yeah, that'll go possession arrow. It stays with Texas.
And when you don't score, you can't set up your defense. And now you're in transition, trying to get back and guard a fast break. Not as easy.
Lambert going baseline, take it away there. This is the freshman Adams. Adams up ahead. And rejected by Taylor.
Wow, we know how fast he is, but that was a quick jump.
Nick Roach stepped on the sideline.
Jalen Adams will learn that you got to get body to body on the defender. See, he allows Taylor to cut him off there at the top. Take a look. See, you got to get on Taylor's body here. Pretty good play.
So Isaiah Taylor with the rub there. UConn with the basketball and up by 3. Tevin Mack is checked in. And he's guarding Miller, who flips it up and in. Sean Miller with a dozen.
Kevin Ollie saw the mismatch because Mack is only a 210-pound, 6'6" player, and they went right to Sean Miller, uses athleticism.
And Mack answers with a triple.
And that's why he's in there, because on the offensive end, he stretches the floor. 4th 3 of the night for the freshman from Columbia, South Carolina.
15 points for Tevin Mack. And now Miller looking for some help. eBay the rejection. Felix up ahead.
Nice.
And Taylor gets it to go. Isaiah Taylor, acrobatic. 9 points.
All of a sudden, John, Texas has given these fans something to cheer about.
.43 apiece, Miller, and he's fouled.
eBay has made his presence felt in the lane. You see the block, and then this is what Isaiah Taylor does, as well as anybody in the country. That end-to-end speed, and then a little dipsy-do at the end. But if you're going to race guys from end to end in college basketball with the dribble, you're going to put Isaiah Taylor in that first heat.
That last foul on eBay, he's going to sit. And Shaq Claire will come back in. It's one of the other things that Shaka Smart talked about between eBay and Claire. He said they've got to foul less per minute. That's an emphasis, especially with Ridley out.
And you can tell watching Shaq Claire run the floor. He's only played 9 minutes a game, so he's got to use this next few weeks to get himself in great shape if he's going to help this team in the Big 12. That's a foul inside.
Mack, big offensive rebound. Taylor, good look. Claire the bucket. And Texas on top by a point. First two for Shaq Claire.
And penetration is so important, especially when you have good guards. The ability to make that second and third defender come over and help is critical to your offense.
Hamilton. Leaks the three. That was halfway down. Hamilton just 2 of 6 from the floor. Slices in and puts it in.
You know what I love about that? He's starting to get aggressive. He missed that last shot on the drive. He came right back. That's important for UConn. He'll pass it. He'll find the open man, but he's got to think of himself.
Roach can't hit. And now Purvis with the basketball. Bobby Purvis with 7 first-half points. And he's still on 7. Hamilton, a smaller player on him. Pulls up.
Yep. See it, John? He's feeling it. Got it. He's got to be that type of assertive personality out there. And Chuck Daly used to say, what will the player do when the play breaks down? Because the play will break down. He can go get his shot when the play breaks down.
Last foul on Sean Miller, his third. Here's Hamilton.
Yep. Gets to the basket. And then now he's got the size advantage on Taylor. There's that first basket. Could have been something there. I don't like all that contact with no call.
So Miller sits with the 3 fouls. Daniel Hamilton's brother Isaac at UCLA right now playing well. There's Claire. Rebound and a putback. He's got 4.
Really nice job. He timed that miss really well. And if you're Shaq Claire right now, you got to be doing handstands knowing you're going to get an opportunity to play more without Ridley.
Adams' hesitation, but he gets fouled. So Jalen Adams draws a contact, and he'll shoot when we return. UConn by a point.
Doug Kazarian with a studio update. #1 ranked Michigan State on the ropes, playing without the injured Denzel Valentine. Peter Jock, 3-pointer in transition. It's all Iowa in the Big Ten opener, up 19. Now the only team to beat Kansas, Michigan State. Jayhawks up by just 2 at the break, but leading by 20 at home. Let's go back to Austin.
All right, Doug, thanks very much. Our game here, 1-point game, and UConn leading at 48-47. Missed 4 of their last 5 free throws, just 3 out of 8 in the game. Adams, the freshman, knocks it down there.
Before we get too far away from it, Michigan State's going to lose that game, but we want to send our best to Tom Izzo and his family. His father, Carl, passed away. Tom's coaching tonight. His dad was 90 years old, and I know it weighs heavy on Tom's heart tonight. So one of the best in the business, Tom Izzo, going through a tough time. And that Iowa team, I saw them at Iowa State. They can be very explosive. Oh, nice.
Hamilton with the rip. And then Hamilton tries to go behind his back and still puts it in.
That was almost by necessity that he put it behind his back, and just was lucky that the ball was bobbled and he put it in.
Claire inside.
Oh, I like this.
He gets bumped.
I like this. Watch Hamilton now. First, the rip job was smooth. Long arms. He just takes it from him. Then he sees Matt cut him off, and he tries to go behind his back, loses it. And that's just a bobble. Fumble it, and you're allowed to pick it up. But you know what I loved about Shaq Query? Shaq Query demanded the ball last time down.
Transfer from Maryland. High school teammates with Isaiah Taylor. It was basically Taylor that recruited him, his buddy. He said, you know, come and check it out. Hang out with me for a weekend. See if this is a place you'd like. But
well, he grew up in he grew up in the Bahamas, but he went to high school in Houston, so he had that familiarity with Austin.
5 points for Claire and a 4-point UConn advantage. Adams trying to find Facey and passes a little too much. 10 turnovers on the Huskies.
Huskies are not a great pick and roll team, John. They really haven't been since Shabazz Napier left for the NBA. And that time Adams was it was off target and ill-timed, that play.
The leak's missing from the free throw line.
Boy, he's had 2 rim right in and out.
Adams being harassed by Taylor. Now they get the carry.
Yeah, second time tonight. That's something he's just got to understand. When you allow a player to carry the ball, it puts the defender at a huge disadvantage. Kevin Ollie discussing it with the veteran Mike Roberts.
Good crew here tonight. Mike Roberts, Keith Kimball, Doug Sermons.
I think officiating has been outstanding all season long, John, by and large.
Have you noticed much in terms of the rules changes or the emphasis? The emphasis of the key. The rule changes are meaningless. The 30-second clock's meaningless. The one less timeout has sped the game up. I think they got to go into conference play, make sure particularly they clean up the post play, because I've seen more post moves this year than I have in a while. Got Big Monday coming your way. Our first of the season at 7. It's North Carolina taking on Florida State. Knowles with a big win earlier tonight. And then this one, Kansas and Oklahoma, number 2 hosting number 3 at 9 Eastern. With Michigan State right now losing. If they lose, there's a decent chance that could be number 1 versus number 2 on Big Monday.
Well, Iowa State will have something to say with that, because they'll play at Oklahoma on Saturday afternoon, but Brent and the crew are going to be jacked for that game. If you haven't seen a game at Allen Fieldhouse, the noise will come through the TV screen on Monday night. I can guarantee you that.
But you're right, Iowa State and Oklahoma on Saturday. That will be entertaining for sure. Hamilton. Big rebound to eBay as he gives off Taylor, and now Texas trying to chip away at a 4-point deficit. That'll do. It's a 2 from Taylor.
You can't let Isaiah Taylor come down and just shoot a rhythm jump shot.
I think eBay just picked up his 4th.
Well, that's not a smart play, because eBay was really, really effective tonight. And that means with Quare catching his breath, Texas has to go small again. Right now, I would post up Daniel Hamilton if I were Kevin Ollie, because he's got the freshman Mack on him.
Purvis against Felix, flips out Hamilton. Gibbs feeds. Nolan couldn't handle it. Texas the other way. Matt, another.
Yep.
The freshman with 5 3-pointers, and he's got 18.
That's his career high right there. And we've talked about Kerwin Roach Jr., Eric Davis Jr. all season. Tevin Mack, the 3rd Musketeer, showing up big tonight.
Texas by a point.
Oh, you see that Euro step? What was great about that play was the cross-court pass induced what we call a long closeout. And if you're a good offensive player, you just attack the closeout.
Back inside, gets it rejected. Purvis. Back-to-back buckets for Rodney Purvis. His first 4 points of the second half, he's got 11, and UConn back up by 3.
Davis, the freshman, is fearless. On occasion, he'll keep both teams in the game. But you love his confidence. He's losing it a little bit right now.
Good one here in Austin, 7:12 to go.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball, and Lexus All-Weather Drive. Conquer the weather. Don't let it conquer you. See your Lexus dealer.
Back in Austin, UConn by 3 on the road, but Tevin Mack, Fran Fraschilla, what a game he's put.
Oh yeah, no question. Came in shooting 24% from 3, and he's really felt it tonight. As my boys have taught me, DJ Khalid would say, another one. Okay, and that's what he's done tonight. He is lighting it up. And what you love about this, okay, is Roach and Davis feeling their oats during the preseason in the non-conference, and now tonight Tevin Mack. And remember, John, Roach and Davis signed with Rick Barnes. Shaka Smart had to re-recruit them. Tevin Mack was heading to VCU. He decided to detour and head down to the 40 acres.
Now, speaking of the freshmen, one of the things that Shaka Smart likes to do, it's interesting, he started it with the freshmen last year at VCU. He has freshman orientation, and he meets with however many freshmen are on the team. They meet with them as a group once a week, and they go over all sorts of topics, whether it's academics, taking care of your body, but really the whole focus being how are you acclimating, making the transition from high school to college. And they recently had a session where the 3 freshmen sat with him, Mack, Davis, and Roach, and they videotaped all 3 of them evaluating how the other 2 guys are doing, making the transition, and evaluating themselves. And he said, I think it'll be something that'll be interesting to look back on at the end of this year and when they're seniors.
Well, it's pure Shaka Smart. It really is, because he's as much about the mind as he is the body. This is a guy that went to Kenyon College in Ohio, could have went to the Ivy League, a Division III school, the Kenyon Lords, by the way. But that's what you love about this guy. He's a great role model for those freshmen, and they're going to grow together. Shaka Smart's going to grow here as the coach of Texas, and Eric Davis Jr., Kerwin Roach, Tevin Mack, they're going to all grow with him. None of these guys is a one-and-done guy, so they're going to be around for a while.
I like that, though. Freshman orientation. Kick out Gibbs. And he's been cold. Gibbs 2 for 6 from 3 in the game.
Well, that's a tough one. That's a tough shot right there. Good challenge by Hamilton.
Eventually, Miller comes down with the board. Under 6 to go.
Good fake.
Couldn't finish. They're going to count it. They'll count the basket.
Well, we had a push underneath, John, because Sean Miller went flying.
So they get the foul, I beg your pardon.
Watch Miller. He's going to go jump, and here comes Felix. And Felix almost threw Miller's back out on that. Watch Miller. He's thinking tip dunk again.
Yeah, so foul on the side. No bucket. At 58-53 our score. UConn on top. Hamilton's a lot to deal with, just the length and the quickness. Adams, step back.
Yeah, the question now for Texas is, who do you want to be your go-to guy? Now this guy can do it.
Wow.
And why not?
Taylor with 2 more. 13.
You're watching at home, young players, as a perfect example of what we call change of speed, slow to fast.
I think 4 of his 5 field goals have been layups on the left side. Getting to the basket. Purvis will launch and hit. Rodney Purvis, huge threes, got 14.
Biggest thing we've talked about with Rodney Purvis tonight, how confident he's playing right now as a junior. Kevin Ollie told us today, and you saw it right there on the road. They needed a dagger, and that fills the bill. I was going to say it quieted the crowd, but it'd be tough to do.
Inside, eBay gets bumped. I think that'll be on Miller. Number 4 on Sean Miller. Well, here in this game, one of the things we've seen, Tevin Mack knocking down 3-pointers for Texas. He's 5 for 9, but Texas as a team came in shooting 40% from 3. They haven't shot it well. Mack has been the only guy to hit a 3, so he's 5 for 9. Everybody else on the team is 0 for 12 from 3.
Well, and I think when you guard the 3-point line, remember UConn comes in guarding that line really well. When you play good teams, you don't get the shots that you get when you play some of the guarantee game opponents.
Miller sits with 4. Taylor trying to get around Hamilton.
Rodney Purvis feeling confident tonight on the road. Catch and shoot. No hesitation. Kevin Ollie will take it. Up 6.
Doug Kazarian with a studio update from Iowa City. Number 1 ranked Michigan State, undefeated but on the ropes. Adam Woodbury the finish. It's a 14-point game. 3 minutes to go. Bowl game over on ESPN. LSU is leading Texas Tech by 8 at the break. After the game, SportsCenter will have highlights of that one. Also, 3 Clemson players sent home just 2 days before the college football playoff. Back to Austin.
Wow, all right.
As long as one of them wasn't Deshaun Wright.
Well, tune into SportsCenter. Stan and Neil will have that for you. 6-point game after the missed free throw.
First
a little
time,
zone.
Yeah, first time tonight. Texas goes to the 2-3.
So 3.5 to go.
You got to know where Gibbs is. You got to know where Purvis is.
Purvis. He's a scorer. He scored 9 of their last 11.
It wasn't great zone offense. But what made it work was Hamilton caught that ball in the lane. It contracted the zone.
Mack inside it. He's fouled.
Right now, if you're Texas, you got to manufacture some energy on the defensive end. Be interested to see if Shaka Smart stays in that zone again, because Daniel Hamilton is a really tough guy to guard in that zone because he's so versatile.
One of the other things to look at, Kent Facey just picked up his 4th, and now Sean Miller checks in and he's got 4. So foul trouble. No Brima because of the finger injury. Obviously no Ridley on the Texas side because of the foot injury. Surgery today. Cam Ridley could be out for the rest of the year.
Texas is going to go full court pressure now. eBay is the safety man, the goalie, the rim protector.
Taylor almost came up with a deflection there. UConn slowing it down. Hamilton.
Good defensive possession by Texas. That ball never got to the lane.
Taylor to Lambert. Back out. Good. Quick hands on the UConn side.
Kevin Ollie's going to milk this 30 seconds. I like the ball in Hamilton's hands at the end.
He's got Lambert on him at a quickness advantage against Lambert. Now they switch.
Let's see now if Gibbs can take advantage of Lambert.
Shot clock winding down. Gibbs. And eBay erases it.
I want the ball in Daniel Hamilton's hands when you're going down to the end of the shot clock. That's just me. And that was great defense by Connor Lambert because Gibbs could not get to the painted area.
I'm with you. It's just such a matchup problem.
I think if you're Shaka Smart right now, you need something with Taylor getting to the rim.
Here is Taylor. Gets to the rim and lays it in. As ordered, Doctor.
You know what teams are good at, so in this situation, you got to bring your fastball. No time to throw junk.
Timeout UConn.
Really well designed, John. Isaiah Taylor, so hard to keep out of the lane. You got a little dribble handoff, double screen coming, and then this is what he does. He gets to the rim, little dipsy-do to finish, and what's Miller going to do? He wants to stay in the game. He's not committing his 5th foul. Really good recognition by the junior from Hayward, California.
Fran, there's an elusiveness that Isaiah Taylor has because it's not as if teams don't know that he struggles to shoot and that he wants to get to the rim, and yet he still is able to do it.
Exactly. And I'll tell you, those guys, that's an art form because teams will play off of him, but when you play off a guy who can't shoot, you give him a running start to the rim. And I never minded that when people backed off my non-shooters who were quick because it's just like, how do I stop this guy? And that's what Taylor does so well. And by the way, we're watching maturation from him because he's playing under control.
So the ball in Gibbs' hands here as we close in a minute to go. Gibbs inside, lays it in. Sterling Gibbs, the senior transfer, with a huge bucket.
I love what he did there because he stayed on the defender's body and he eliminated any shot blocking opportunity.
Taylor inside,
yep.
Left hand, and one. Wow. And beautiful.
Almost mirror plays because watch Gibbs. He's going to stay on the body right there. And then on the other end, Isaiah Taylor, he uses the defender's body really well. First takes the contact, and then with that left-handed finish, kiss softly off the glass.
So Taylor now with 17, and again coming off that 26-point performance and the game winner with 1.1 seconds left against Stanford. Under a minute to go, 3-point game. UConn with the lead of the ball. Felix fouls Purvis.
You just don't want to do that. You just don't want to give a team a chance to score at the free throw line.
Purvis 0 for 2 from the line and 54% on the season.
Now, let me back up and say maybe Shaka Smart wanted that foul, and if so, we'll find out now whether he made the right call.
Yeah. We're gonna go by result.
Well,
Shaka Smart's a big play of the process.
No,
guy.
he is. No, he is. and I'm going to tell you now, No one's ever proved to me the second, oh, there's the miss. There it is. The second, no one ever proved to me the second guess is the right guess. The first guess was right. He got it right.
Indeed.
That's a foul. And that's dumb. That is dumb both ways. Taylor needs to walk away right here. He needs to keep walking away. What he's doing right now is not smart. Just make your free throws and set up your defense. Three really experienced officials, because if this was early in the game, he'd have picked up a technical here. There's the foul. I don't see. You gotta walk away.
There's one little extra shove there at the end that I think got him. That got him a little frustrated.
Yep.
Got to hit that.
Make or miss, John. Texas is going to have to press and foul with this clock situation.
Texas calls timeout. So a 2-point game with 33.4 to go. Texas in this one playing without Cam Ridley. We told you at the open of the broadcast, surgery on that fractured left foot, could be lost for the year. They're hopeful that he'll make a return. Meanwhile, Kevin Ollie, the Huskies here in the second half, they played well. Rodney Purvis has been right at the center of their success. All right, New Year's Eve on ESPN. We got college football. The playoff semifinals, the games we've been waiting for all season. 4 Eastern, the Capital One Orange Bowl. Number 4, Oklahoma taking on number 1, Clemson. And then at 8, it is number 3, Michigan State. Number 2, Alabama, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. All games on ESPN and streaming live on the Watch ESPN. John Shelby, Fran Fraschilla here in Austin. 2-point game. Each team with 1 timeout. Double bonus for Texas.
Now remember, Purvis is out, so the rest of these blue jerseys, reasonably good foul shooters, and there's the foul on Gibbs. And that's the one guy you probably don't want to foul, but that's why he has the ball in his hands. Excellent foul shooter. So they're going to play the platoon game now. Purvis will come back on defense. The freshman goes out. Gibbs a great free throw shooter. And Texas, John, comes back with their offensive platoon.
Gibbs coming in at 87%. 0 for 1 here tonight. A biggie right there.
Now, if you're Texas, you're going to be down 3 or 4. You do not need a contested 3. You know Connecticut, UConn, excuse me, does not want to foul. So put the ball in Taylor's hands and let him go to the rim. Or kick out 3, open 3.
Gets them both.
So he's got to go because time is of the essence.
Taylor exploding at the rim. Couldn't finish. And now Hamilton. And Felix reaches in. Daniel Hamilton will go to the line. I know Taylor didn't finish, but he is something else, his ability to get to the basket.
And that's one of those situations where the right play was called, and he just, he missed it because, again, we talked about proper hand development and spun that ball a little too hard. But UConn has really done a good job. I mean, this could be a good, solid win for them.
First free throw attempt in the game for Hamilton.
You notice Taylor, he goes both right and left, John.
Yes.
You want to just corral him right now, but don't foul.
They were looking for a handoff and a three for Felix, and they got it. Javon Felix, who's been kept quiet in this one.
Now that's good coaching, because instead of Taylor to the rim, they needed a three, so they ran the dribble handoff. Felix knocks it down. Last time out for Texas, so now they set their pressure up.
Felix, a guy shooting over 50% from three. SportsCenter coming up at the conclusion of our game. And again, UConn by 3. Huskies have led most of this second half. And that second half surge led by Rodney Purvis, who had 7 first-half points, didn't score in the first 8 minutes of the second half. But right now with 18, and you'd have to think, Fran, that 40 points in the paint has a little something to do with the fact that there's no Cam Ridley.
There's no question about it. And points in the paint is not post-ups necessarily, but drives, putbacks, etc. Now, John, this is important. Texas is going to press full court. Probably Lammert will be on the ball. In this situation, I want to gamble and bring all 5 defenders up, because A, I want to flood the floor in the full court with bodies, and B, I want to try to induce a long pass down the court that if it goes out of bounds, we then get it back under our end. So in this situation right here, you've got to gamble and bring everybody up. No Lammert, so they're going to just play 5-on-4, and we got a foul right there on Kerwin Roach.
So they'll get the foul on Roach, and 2 shots for Gibbs. 7.4 seconds left in this one. Gibbs, who just made his last 2.
And that right there is the killer. Sterling Gibbs, who started his career here in Austin. Right now, this looks to be a pretty good homecoming.
Gibbs and Hamilton hitting big free throws down the stretch for Kevin Ollie's team.
And somebody came into the game, and then because of the foul, I think, tried to sub him out, but the clock never started,
moved.
so Lammert's got to leave the court. Even though the foul was committed, because the clock did not start, Mack and Lammert are going to have to sit.
So eBay and Holland have to come back in. Gibbs hits another. UConn 6 for its last 6 in the last 19 seconds. Taylor speeding up court. Can't complete it, and that'll do it. UConn down the stretch, nails the free throws. And Kevin Ollie's team with a 71-66 win. Fran Fraschilla, pretty impressive. Well, Rodney Purvis with a big second half, as he ended up with 18 points, 11 after the break. 71-66 our final score. For Fran Fraschilla and our entire crew, this is John Sciambi saying so long from Austin. SportsCenter comes your way right now as UConn wins it on the road.
John Sciambi, Fran Fraschilla, thank you so much. UConn moving to 9-3 with the win. Texas had won 6 straight coming into tonight. The first of many games on this Tuesday night.